So, did any of you the topic and also topics in the welcome message? Okay. Let's see. Who wants to talk about these topics? Is it me or you who has a bad connection? I don't know.
No, your connection is good, but everyone is silent.
Mine is good. Okay. Oh,
Mine is also good.
okay. Mhm. Okay, you want to some meme.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just waiting for you to read the welcome message so that you can understand what's going on here.
Of course.
And then maybe we can start if you want.
Sure. So, what are we discussing today?
What are we discussing today? That depends on the topic that you choose. As I said, there are
Oh,
topics in the welcome message,
yeah,
and
but uh, I have to choose the topic, or
you don't have to. I can start.
yeah, okay, no problem. You can start whenever you want.
We can start anytime.
Okay,
So you don't want to choose any of those topics.
okay, whenever you feel right.
Decide it's up to people. Like that, there are some topics, and I chose these topics. Any of those are okay for me, and I think that's
Okay, but
some freedom for the people.
now we two are just talking. But there are many, but we two are just talking.
Okay, I think it's better when there are less people are speaking.
Okay,
Yeah,
then shall we start?
I think we already started. Why
Okay.
should people follow religion? I don't know. They should. I didn't say that they should.
Everyone has their different religion. I mean,
Yeah, people have
everyone
different
has their
religions.
own faith, own belief, own caste.
That's obvious. Yeah.
So everyone should follow them, follow their
Should?
belief, follow their faith.
I don't think so. It's up to people. Maybe they don't wanna follow their beliefs, religions, or whatever they
Uh,
found.
yeah, it's up to them totally whether
Oh, so you are totally agree with everyone. You don't have any opinion about it.
what opinion.
No, you don't wanna say anything about religion. You are suggest everyone should follow their parents for religion. So what is your opinion if you are educated person, if you have idea about religion?
I think there is a
I
problem.
can't differentiate it, but everyone has their own faith, own belief system.
We know everyone have different type of religion. They can show their identity from their inheritance people. But what is your opinion as a philosopher, as a educated person about this type of things?
I mean, my thoughts is pretty simple. If you uh, think, if your perception, if your gut says, okay, what I should uh, maintain, or I should, uh, can you hear me? Hello,
Yes, man, you're
Yes, I can hear
audible.
you. Yeah, I can hear you.
You had a
hello. Yeah.
trauma
Okay.
before.
Okay.
People are interrupting you a lot. When people listen to you, it's so weird to you. People are
Okay. So
listening.
my intentions are pretty clear. Uh, whatever. Everyone has their different belief, but one should uh, believe their uh, beliefs and their faith.
Thanks for sharing.
I think just talking about religion is just wasting time. I mean,
Waste of
guys,
time.
just yeah, it's wasting time. Just keep
Okay.
going to learn and educate yourself in ethically way. Every religion, I mean, not just holy religions. I'm talking about.
Okay. Which topic is not waste of time in your opinion?
I
Here.
mean, about religions,
No,
about
no,
Agnosticism.
no.
politics.
So
Literally, it's wasting time for me. I
we
mean,
have
just
For,
I was here
for
we
for like
have
you,
I'm sorry.
Sahara.
it's
Sahara.
all just
We have these
Mhm,
topics here: God, atheism, agnosticism, morality,
mhm,
yeah,
afterlife, soul.
God
So do you think that all these
existence.
topics are a waste of time?
I mean, I came here a couple. Can you just mute this guy,
Which guy?
Majid?
Okay.
Okay, thanks. I was saying that actually I've been in here a couple times. Actually, most of people they're just saying their beliefs. No one do not change their mindset, and actually they're just coming for speaking, not even like logically. Way like I'm also Muslim, and I realize that actually, especially Muslim people, they're just wasting time in here. Just keep learning, keep
Muslim
educate
people are.
yourself about science, and not just Muslim, but people. I mean, like agnostic, atheist, I don't care. As a human, just keep learning and stay educated. Then, like in ethical way, of course, you will understand actually every religion, every ethical rules. I mean, they match each other. I mean, even science rules, they are matching.
Maybe you should study more, as you were suggesting, because that's not true. Like when you look
Uh,
at people may have different kind of opinions about those moral rules. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
matching all the time. That's why there
It
are
doesn't matching
conflicts.
all the time.
okay.
But you were right. You should educate yourself more to know what's
Hmm.
going on around the
As
world.
I said,
Yeah,
yeah.
I believe the same. I believe that religion and science are both relying on faith at the
Both
last
sides.
and its last point. Like, for example, the science is also believing on faith on those things which the science didn't see. Okay, and it is not able to see those things. For example, the greatest scientist says about the universe, like approximately atheists brothers and agnostic brothers and Muslims, that they want to talk about the creator. Okay, they even don't know about the thing, like only 5%, and they want to talk about the creator of it. Just look at this. Doesn't matter. It just, keep the people unit. Okay, it gives the people to a path to follow. It,
Yeah.
We lost him.
I mean,
Where did
he
you
was
go?
lagging. Maybe he got some connection
It
Did he
problem.
just left?
disappeared magically.
Maybe disconnected,
I
or
don't
I don't
know.
know what
He
happened.
disappeared.
Yeah, but he was wrong about one thing. Yeah, like people can use some faith in science also, but comparing religions and science is total bullshit.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
in
I also
science
think the same.
you can fact check a lot of claims even by yourself. And other people can falsify those claims with evidence, with observation, with measurement. But in religions, you can't do that. You don't have
I
a time
mean, you're
machine
as a
to go back in time and check what happened exactly. You don't know any way to prove miracles happen or not. You can't test those things. But in science, it's different. Sure, people proceed by relying on the previous information, and they believe that, yeah, that was true, and they go like this. Yeah, there's some faith in it, but they're not the same things. They're totally different. Again, the most important thing in science, you can check those things. Maybe not you, but other scientists can check those claims and can falsify those claims, because many of them are testable or based on observation.
you're
I
wrong about
totally
something else
agree with
actually.
you. And at this point, I'm not saying that the miracles are true or it is false. I'm not saying that the science doesn't rely on tests or on observation. It relies on evidences. I believe that. I believe the same. But the science itself saying that we don't even talk about the universe and its creation, it's it don't go too deep. The science doesn't go too deep in it. And also the religion. I'm not saying it is true or not true. It is false or something like that. I'm not saying miracles happen or not. I have nothing to do with that. I am just talking about, don't talk about those things which you don't know. Okay, just that simple. It's not about if yeah, science rely on evidences, proofs. That's good. But science itself don't know.
I just don't know what.
Atlantic motions. Yes.
Atlantic
About the
motion.
universe.
Yeah,
Approximately, the great founders. If you want me, I can search for you. You can also search for it. That the scientists are telling that we don't even know the 5% of the universe. For example, if I send you a picture of something, that will be the 40% of that object, and you will be not able to tell me what that object is. Okay, I will give you
Are you
time,
sure?
more time you want, just spend on it, and then tell me like a week after, a month after, come to me and tell me what that thing is. But this is about understanding. The thing which you don't know, don't talk about it. This is my point. I'm not saying that a religion is good or bad. I'm not saying science is good or bad. Atheism is on the right path or not. That's not my problem. My problem is
Your
you are
problem.
talking on those things which will waste your time and the things.
Okay. I don't understand. Like, so far, at least two people said these topics are a waste of time. Why the hell you guys are here? I don't understand that. These are the topics here.
I mean, as a philosopher, you think that you can judge people's minds.
I didn't do that. I'm just asking question. If you
Actually, you're
think
doing
that,
that. You're
no, I'm asking a
literally
question.
judging people's
I'm
minds.
asking question. If you think that these topics are a waste of time, why you guys are here? That's a question. It's not judgment. I'm
They wanna
curious.
give you suggestion. That's why they are trying to understand, giving me suggestion. You should skip from this topic,
That's
maybe.
fair. Like it can be a waste of time for you. That doesn't mean it's a waste of time for other people. It's so relative. People can do anything that they want, and your opinion is useless about this one. Okay? People can
Yeah.
choose to do anything. They can go study, as you said, but they don't have to do that just because you said it. If they want, they can do that. If they don't want to study, they're free not to study. If they want to talk about these things, they can. And well, and you're the one who's judging people and judging things here. You're saying that, oh, these people are wasting their times. This is a judgment, okay? And she was
Okay.
telling me I was judging people. No, I didn't do that.
Can I share my religious journey?
The religion journey.
yeah, of course.
Who
Okay.
said of course?
Uh,
Who said of
so first of
course?
all, Okay, okay. It's anyone, a random someone. But yeah, I can talk about God, religion, about atheists, like this
Okay,
type thing.
before
I
that,
don't
man,
know.
man, man, before that, sorry for the interruption. This guy keeps asking why I'm not guest anymore. I just explained. I just explained, and I asked you a question. Not only you and the other girl, but she left. She offended. She got offended. Well, why the hell I'm
She
not
got
getting
offended. Yeah.
answer? So you don't have the mic, but why I don't have the answer? I'm so ready. The chat box is free for anyone. I'm ready
Yeah.
to see your answer. Sorry. Yeah, code. I'm listening in.
Okay, by the way, right now I am 24 years old, and before 19 my age, sometime I did follow my religious some rules, sometime breaking that rules because I don't have any idea about religion, and it's normal for everyone. Most of the people they are following their religion by inheritance. They are just following their parents. They are respect all religion, and sometimes they are following their own religion without any knowledge. Just they are showing their society doing that or this, that's why sometimes they do. Also they know sometimes they are breaking their religious rules topics, but they don't care about it. Most of the people they are think they will do a smart job, they will earn enough money doing buildings, home, career, buying smartphone, cars, like this type. Most of the people busy about this type things, right? And is my journey when I have enough question in my mind. Maybe most of the people have, and they are sometimes trying to find their questions answer from their from atheist or science or religious person or topics books. But some many people they are still there have confused. That's why sometimes they are create their own self as a atheist or religious person. So it's up to their knowledge. And also when I start reading some Al Quran and when I start reading translation, that time really I am surprised when I start more and more. That time I find my all questions answer. So from that time I am serious about religion, and I'm trying to follow this. I'm trying to change my lifestyle because here is my set is my matching with my thought with my I can satisfy it when I have enough question and I can find the answer here. So that's why from that time I can tell you when I am telling I am Muslim. So I can tell you why I am Muslim, not just a blind Muslim. No, not like that. But before, yeah, I was that. It's true. Still, my family member, my all brothers, sister, they're Muslim, just inheritance. So it's up to you when you are thinking you are atheist, you should know why you are atheist. And if you are following any religion or anything, you should do study about that. And otherwise, many people they are most of the time busy for smart technology, programming, or career, or many things. They don't care about it because they don't know about it. Yeah, it's true. So yeah, maybe I tell you already more. But yeah, it's true. Right now, if I tell you or if you ask me why I am Muslim, I can give you answer. I can show myself why I am Muslim.
Okay. Yeah.
And I can
Let's assume that I asked that already. So you can answer that also. You want to answer?
okay.
Yeah. Why you're a Muslim?
Okay. First of all, why I am Muslim? It is your first question. First of all, everyone, our most of the knowledge is listening knowledge. It's true. Trust me. If even I didn't see America, Saudi Arabia, most of the my knowledge it's listening knowledge. Maybe I read or news, watch newspaper on television, or I listen many history from my previous my teachers or friend circle, and have enough reason for trusting that type of news. So as why I am Muslim. So when I try to understand myself, I say I'm not capable for creating this type source because I have limitation about thinking about anything. So when I listen about Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his life story, his everything, that was totally surprised ourselves. And also he was before Prophet, he was totally great person in his society. But when he said have one God, everyone should follow, do worship only for Allah as God. They should everyone should accept one God. That time he was for on his society with me from in his society in his place. So that time I think, oh, he is telling about out of our control, out of our limitation. He's saying about God, about a paradise, about hell, and everyone can say, yeah, he is good, but many people not agree with him about religious topic. So I'm following him. It's a trustable part. It's not I can prove it because still I'm believing and I believe it. After die, we can face it. We can see
Hey
what
man,
is true.
sorry for the interruption. So it's this is the summary. Why do you believe in that? Your answer is because I believe in it. So that's not
Okay,
fruitful.
why
You
I
should, you
believe?
should understand that.
Okay,
Why do
why
you
I
believe
believe is
in
that.
that? And your answer
Mm,
was, but because I believe in that. So
okay, why I
you were
believe that.
speaking more than 2 minutes, but all you
Okay,
said, I just believe in those things. That
uh,
doesn't make sense to you. I mean, you could say, hey man, like, well, I just believe. That's all.
okay, why I believe because he is best man in this world. He's trustable person.
How do you
Person.
know
He
that?
didn't
You
say any
don't know
lies.
that. You believe in that. You don't know that. You just believe in that
No,
story.
no, I believe that. Listen. Suppose who is our father? Anyone can prove without DNA test. They are depend on their mom because their mom say it is your father. We are believe, but we can't say, hey, I didn't see who is my father. That's why I can't believe. No, we didn't see that.
Oh,
Why?
if I
If
say
someone is
say that
atheist,
your father was able to fly like a bird, would you believe in that?
yeah, we depend on our mom. Listen, we depend
Okay,
on our
let's suppose
mother.
your mom said that, hey, you know what? Your father was able to fly like a bird. Would you believe
Yeah,
in
yeah.
your mother,
If
or
if
you
if
would you think that your mother is crazy?
wait,
Which
yeah,
one?
if any mother said your father is a bird, so maybe we will be confused or we will be asked about
She's
question, right? Because we
question,
that time we were
but
totally kids.
in the end of the day, you wouldn't believe, right? Because
Getting
humans
you.
are not birds.
Yeah, if someone tell me your father is bird, our mom, then we will right now we understand, but before we will not about think about that. Then we will
Oh,
say,
why it's
hey
so
mom,
hard to
uh,
answer? Like I wouldn't believe in the first place. Why it's so hard?
because we mom we respect and we believe our mom will not say lie, right?
I wouldn't
She's not a
believe in
liar.
my mom if she was saying my father was a bird.
No, any mother said it in this world?
Like
Anyone said it? Have you
any mother
can
could
you show
say
any
that,
proof?
and that's the question. If one day
Listen,
your
I'm
mother says that your father was a bird, would you believe in her? No, right? The answer is no. It must be no. If it's yes, you should check yourself, man. Okay,
but it's normal. Every mom, they
it's
are
normal.
normal, they are trustable, they are telling about it. Okay,
Doesn't
this
matter
is
how
one
much
thing.
they're trustable. One day, if my mother says that my father was a bird, I would say, hey, mom, I should take you to hospital, maybe.
Listen, it you can prove it as a DNA test. You have a way. Okay, if your
Uh,
mom tell it, you can show it's proven, right?
you can't like let's suppose like she didn't say it like by the way like that was not my example, you changed my example. My question
No, no. Have
was
if
if
say
I'm just trying to correct your mistake, man, would you let me?
okay, okay, sure.
Okay, my example was if she tells you that your father was able to fly like a bird. I didn't say that he was a bird, okay? So flying like a bird is something different, and that it's something magical, okay?
Okay,
Doesn't matter. Like those both claims are unbelievable. Okay, both of them. And you're saying that, oh, I trust my mom. I would believe in it.
because it's happened. It's have enough reason. If any
It's what?
mom said your father is a bad, then we can tell her you should prove it, right? Have any
Yeah.
DNA
Let's
test,
suppose
medical
she
test,
couldn't prove
many
that.
way.
Let's suppose she couldn't prove that. Now,
Then
what would
she's a liar.
happen? She's a liar.
Then
Okay.
the,
So, but this is not the way that you approach religions. You just read those things and you say, wait a second, they're like my mom. I trust them. I don't question.
wait,
And you don't go
I should
fact
finish.
check all those claims. Like when you
Wait,
see a claim that Muhammad split the moon, you didn't check that. You didn't require a DNA test for it. What you have done is just listening to those people, and the people who said, oh, you know what, those people are reliable, and you said, oh wait, they must be reliable. That's how you believe in those things.
wait, listen. Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu his all talk without religion. Every sector he is trustable with even with all unbelievable person. with that religious topic, Prophet Muhammad SAW is trustable person with everyone, and everyone can believe him. But when he told about God, told about religion, told about hereafter life, or told about prayer, told about Islamic rules, that time people make divided. Some people believe it, some people disbelieve it, right?
Maybe because he said that I'm getting messages from an invisible creature. Maybe that's why people didn't believe in him.
Yeah, right. You're right. So
Yeah.
that's time, if you see his previous life, his all activities,
Doesn't
his
matter. Doesn't
everything.
matter. Doesn't matter, man. That's the question. If somehow your mother makes such a claim one day, what she has done, what she has said before, it's not that much important, okay?
No, I'm telling
That
our mom
can
they can
only
mistake.
mean
Wait,
that
our
she's
our mom.
confusing things. She has a problem. Most
Wait, if you
likely, she had an hallucination or a dream, and she thinks that, well, that was real. So that requires some, medical care.
wait, if you are thinking he had a he has a problem, you should prove it. You should say tell better than him something. Okay.
They should prove
You,
that their
you
claims,
should
okay?
say something better than him. You should show any any strategy,
They should
any
prove
correct
their
path better
claim.
than
It's
him.
not me claiming something,
No, no. If
unbelievable.
you
They
are
are
think
claiming
prophet,
unbelievable
if
things, not me. They're claiming unbelievable
wait,
things. Why
if
should
you are
I?
think he
No, you are waiting. Okay? You are waiting. If they're making unbelievable claims, they're supposed to prove those claims, not me. Okay? When I say, hey, man, this is so unbelievable, I don't have to prove any fucking thing here. Okay? They are supposed to prove those claims, and they're not proving. Okay, at least they're not able to prove those things to you right now because they're dead. Okay, you don't have a time machine also to go and check those things, and they didn't prove to you. You just heard people saying that, hey, you know what, those things happened. It's the same as, well, someone else comes to you and say, hey, you know what, your mother is right. Your father was flying like a bird, and you say, oh, now I should trust that. That's what you're doing. You didn't go and check and test those things by yourself. You just believe in other people what they had said. That's all. Yeah, I read Quran. I read Quran maybe even every day here. Did you read Quran? I should ask this question to you because most of the people who ask this question, they don't know much about Quran.
did you read your Quran from first to last with your native translation language?
Like, why that's fucking matter here?
Why you are scolding me?
Because you're asking stupid question.
No, I am telling. Did you read from with your native language and translate your own language?
I read it in many
I'm
different
asking.
languages. Are you
No, no.
satisfied right
I
now?
no, no. If you if you wanna go to
I read
understand,
the
you
Quran in
should.
my native tongue. I read it in Arabic. I read it in English. I read it in Spanish. So,
So
what
okay,
would you want to
great.
learn?
Okay, if you understand Quran, meaning of Quran from first to last, you already understand everything. You can believe or disbelieve. You already know what should you do, and if you believe, then Islam what it says there about that, and if you disbelieve, so also what is waiting for you. You already know. You can believe or unbelieve. It's up to you, because anyone can't force you for anything.
That's why I said that was a useless question. It was very
Yeah, because
useless. But what you said, oh, if you read the Quran, it's up to you whether you believe or not. That was the whole sentence that you were supposed to say, but you were asking, oh, in which language you read the Quran? Oh, did you read from the beginning to the end? What nonsense
I'm
questions
telling.
they are.
Because chapter number 38, Surah Surat, you can read the last sentence, last verse. There's already it's clearly said, you should wait. Everyone should wait for showing what is happening for everyone. What is waiting for us? If someone is believer, they will see their position. If someone is unbeliever, disbeliever, also they can see their position.
That
So
doesn't
it
mean that
doesn't
this is true.
problem.
I don't care what Quran says.
Yeah, you
Just because Quran says
yeah you
that, that
can
doesn't mean it's true. Okay.
yeah you can think it's false. I am
I didn't
thinking
say
and
it's
I you
false. You think that it's true, and just because you think it's true,
yeah
that doesn't
right.
mean it's
It's
true.
our difference, right?
Yeah, I just don't believe you believe that's the difference. Yeah. Okay. You could use the mic instead of typing this. You don't see the pain inside your head when you feel it, yet you still believe it's there. Why? Because you feel it. Some aspects of religious matters are like that. Not everyone can be found through logic. Some things are beyond explanation and they are felt, not proven. Okay, here's a good example for you. I also see that I can fly like a bird in my dreams. I feel it inside. Okay, it's inside my brain. What does that mean? Is it real? Can I fly like that really in this real life? No, right? So whatever the feeling you have about God, make be like maybe they're like dreams also. Okay. So you're choosing the pain example because pain is something that we understand, we share, we know even how it works. It's something real. But when it comes to dreams, they're a little bit different. And I don't know, God is like dreams or the pain. You also don't know that, but you think that it must be like the pain. You don't know that. You need proof for that. I don't think you claim that God is only inside your body. You
No,
can't
no,
claim
he's
that.
not inside. He is totally different from creation.
Yeah, you
Okay,
see.
you should
That's what I said. That's what I said, man.
go, as a god. He's not live with between behind the
Yeah.
creation. Okay, it is
That
totally
that's
he is
why
totally up.
That's why you shouldn't use your inner feelings to prove a God exists because it doesn't prove directly. You can have any feeling, that doesn't mean there's God outside there.
What kind of proof you're looking for, philosopher?
I think I told you before. My
Yeah.
phone is on the table right now. Let's pray
Okay.
to any God who can listen and who can have the power to show some miracles. Hey, God, I want to believe in you. Can you please make disappear my phone on the table right now?
Can it be something else instead of this?
My keyboard is also on the table. If he can disappear my keyboard, that's also okay for me.
What if he gives some sort of inspiration to you in
That
terms of
doesn't mean God gave it to me.
doesn't mean how are you sure about that?
Yeah, I can't be sure about that. So what kind of inspiration you're talking about?
Inspiration that your mind will change in terms of miracle.
My mind can already change. It has this ability, man. So if my
Of
mind
course,
changes, that doesn't mean it's because of God only. Okay, that's not a reliable test because my mind is already changing. Okay.
but you admit that it's possible that from God can be changed, right?
If God exists, sure, probably God can change minds, but that doesn't mean God did it. Like to be able to understand who did it, okay, it was you or someone else. We need more clear evidence. That's why, like, if my keyboard disappears, because this never happens, okay, minds can change. They're changing. That's why it's hard to figure out who did it. But keyboards, they don't disappear magically, right? If it happens, that's a better evidence for a god.
Why it has to be related with a keyboard or a phone? It must be from other things.
I just said that it's a better evidence because if other things are already out there, it would be hard to say. Oh, it's like this. Books are written by humans. Someone said, wait a second, this book wasn't written by a human. Oh, really? But how? I mean, books are written by humans. So to be able to prove something is from someone else, not humans, you need a great evidence for that. Okay, and this is the same. That's why, like, it doesn't have to be keyboard phone. It can be anything. Well, what about this? I don't have a cat in the room. I'm sure about that. Okay, if God
Hey,
can
listen,
send a
philosopher.
cat, if God can send a cat in my room right now, that's also great evidence for me.
Okay, it's nice example. Okay, I liked it. What if you go suddenly somewhere in the streets and you see a cat and you
Reads.
like the cat, and can it be that sort of, a sign to you? Do you accept that?
Man, are you stupid?
Okay, but let's not jump to conclusion if
I
I'm
jumped that
like that or
conclusion
not.
because that's such an example. There are cats
Okay,
in fucking streets.
okay, but to me, it can't
To
happen
you,
that.
man, this is so bad. Like you go outside, you see a cat, and you think, oh wait, this must be from God.
But why it can happen just to you? It not
Can
happening the
happen
same time for everybody
anyone.
else.
Are you
I'm
crazy
talking
or
about same
what?
time.
Are you crazy or what, man?
Why are you jumping to these conclusions?
Because
By
there are cats on the
offending others.
streets. There are cats on the streets, man. What the hell are you talking about?
It's not about the cat. If you
That was
looking
about the
for
cat.
something, it's
If you're
not
looking
just
for
about
something
cat.
miraculous, okay, you shouldn't look where those things are already existing, okay? Like if I want to see a miracle, if it's about cats, okay, it shouldn't be you just see random cats on the street, okay? Let's change the example, okay? If you want me to go outside and see the cats, okay, let me change the example. That would be also really good evidence if I go outside right now and if I see flying cats.
That's not possible
That's not
because
possible. Why? God cannot do that?
God can do that, but
Okay, then
He
why it's
has
impossible?
no.
Why you said
But
it's not possible?
he has set some laws.
Oh, he
That's
has set
why
some laws. He can break those rules. If he set those rules, he can break those rules also.
he can break, but we cannot understand. His
I can
wise.
understand well, if a cat is flying or not. I can understand that. Don't worry.
Are you seeking for the truth or not?
Are you seeking for the truth? Because you seem like a person who doesn't care about the truth. Because you think that, oh, you walk on the ground, you see cats and dogs, and you think that this is good evidence for God. That's not
you
seeking for the truth, okay?
you again are jumping to the conclusion,
Which conclusion?
like you did for me.
Which
It's
one exactly?
you're making conclusion about me, how I see, how I feel,
But
how I.
that's the example that you had given, man. I was not the one who gave that really bad example. You go outside, you see cats, and that's sign of
But
God.
you see,
That's what you said.
you qualify bad example. This is what I call
Exactly.
conclusions.
Yeah, I see that. I say that because cats are on the streets. When you see them, you can't say that it's because of God. You can't differentiate. Okay, there should be something unusual. Okay, extremely unusual. And I said, okay, if a cat is flying, okay, without gravity, then yeah, that's also a good evidence for me. So
Cat
what's the difference
flying.
then? What is the difference, man, uh, between natural and God? What's the difference here? How can you understand the difference?
There is no difference. Nature was
Okay,
created
then
by God.
there's no good reason to believe in God then.
No, I said nature was created by God.
Nietzsche was created by God?
Yeah,
What are you saying, man? Are you
not
smoking right
just
now?
not just nature, everything.
No, you said nature. You don't have evidence for that.
I don't have evidence. What evidence you're looking for? I don't
I just
understand.
I, I just gave you examples. You don't care about those examples. Yeah, that's the thing. You just You don't care about the truth, and you're saying, "Oh, do you care about the truth?"
How do you know that I don't care about the truth? I
By
don't
looking at
understand.
what you're saying, man. But by
Mm.
looking at what you're saying, you're just assuming things, and assuming things is not seeking the truth. Okay,
It's not assuming things.
you're assuming.
It's about belief, man.
Oh,
It's not about
yeah,
assuming.
it's a belief without any good evidence. So you're saying that
So you
nature has
expect
been
God
created by God. What's your evidence for that?
you expect God to come in this world and to say, "This is me, God, so accept me." It doesn't make sense in that
Doesn't make
case
sense. Why not?
because it will not be called belief.
I don't
We are
care.
being tested for this reason.
I don't care about the test also, but still, it will be a belief for me. If just because it wouldn't be a belief, that doesn't mean it wouldn't be a belief. For me, it's going to be a belief. If my keyboard disappears right now, I will believe that it was God. That's a belief. Okay, it's not a fact. It's not a pure fact.
Anyway, it's not really important what is important, God existence or not to me.
And you don't know whether God exists or not.
I believe that God exists,
Yeah, you believe, and you
truly.
might be wrong.
I might be wrong. I'm not saying that I'm holding the absolute truth.
Yeah, yeah. And
But neither of you, you're
I
not,
have never claimed that I know the
100%
truth.
sure.
I have never claimed that.
If I'm not, I heard you that you said that I'm agnostic.
Yes, I'm
Um,
agnostic. Yeah,
yeah, agnostic is not sure if God exists or not,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. You know that. That's good. But you're more sure than me because you believe a God exists.
Well, you believe that God doesn't exist,
No,
50%, let's say.
no. I've
Okay.
never said that. I have never said that. Why are you making claims?
No, I'm saying because you said that God may exist, may not. This is to me
Yeah, I don't know.
50-50.
I don't care on how you measured that.
How do you measure if you say God may
I
exist,
can't.
God may not exist?
Now, how do I measure it? Like if you don't have enough evidence, either it's A or not A. That's pure logic. So same goes for anything. For God also, either God exists or God doesn't exist.
Yeah, but that's a 50% chance, like
I don't know
for
the
each.
numbers. I don't know the numbers.
Man, we have two like things here. Exist or not exist, 50% each.
I don't care, man. I don't care about the fucking numbers, man. It's not important. I care about
Hey
the
bro,
evidence. I look and I don't see
when
good evidence. That's all.
when have any good answer from philosopher he is talking is calling about bad word. It's its behavior. Understand, Mr. S?
What?
Okay,
When philosopher
cool.
can't say anything, he's telling God is exist, but he doesn't believe it. So it's
What?
totally
What are
when
you
you
saying?
use bad word, when you are use bad word as a good person, when you doesn't matter you believe God or doesn't believe, it's up to you. But why you use bad word?
Okay. If you're complaining about that, you're free to leave, man. Okay. But
Hey,
you'll always hear
philosopher.
bad words.
Hey, philosopher. I have one more question. Can I ask you?
You can ask any question.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, you don't have to
Uh,
thank. I didn't promise to answer.
no. I just thank you for letting me because yesterday you didn't allow me to continue. You just, kicked me from the room.
I can kick you today also. It depends on
Yeah,
you.
I know.
Yeah.
For the sake of truth that you're saying you're looking for, um, that's why I'm doing this one. It doesn't matter for me, it doesn't matter for you, but it might matter for somebody else. So let's go back again to my what I was going to say. Do you believe that um the human body is really complex created?
Created?
Yes.
I don't believe that a human body was created in the first place.
Yeah, but let me go more deep on this question. Let's take the brain of human. Okay, is really complex by the nature of
Yeah,
how it works.
brain is complex. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
If it is complex, so does it mean that it must have
It
some
doesn't
sort
mean
of designer, or
no, no, no.
why not? Explain to me, please.
But because complexity doesn't require a designer, at least like we don't see designers behind. That's why we can't say that there is a designer behind that. But let me prove it to you simply through your beliefs. Because you don't believe that it requires a designer. You already don't believe in that. But you're asking, hey, like that suggests a designer, but at the same time, you don't believe that it requires a designer, and I'm gonna prove it to you. So which one is more complex, you think? My brain or God?
This is another question. I'm going
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
brain.
I'm gonna prove. Like, just be patient. I need one answer, okay? One answer. Which one you think is more complex? Human
In
brain or God?
in what kind of terms you talking about,
Like,
God
in what kind of
complex,
terms you're
being
talking about
complex?
complexity? Whatever the complexity you mean, I'm talking about in those terms, okay?
Okay, let me answer you to that.
Okay.
In my opinion, the God, we cannot comprehend, the complexity of Him.
Yeah, but are you
He
suggesting
is
that
how He wants
human
to
brain
be.
can be more complex than God? It is more
No,
complex than God? So
no,
so God is more complex than a brain, right?
no. You shouldn't go in that way. It
Oh,
doesn't
oh,
work.
you are afraid to go there. Like you said, let's go deeper, and you're afraid of diving. Wow.
No, no, no. Well, let's forget about how I view these things. I'm
Oh
just,
no, don't
trying to
forget.
see.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't
I'm
escape.
not afraid.
You
I'm
are
not
afraid.
afraid.
So which one is more complex, God or human brain?
In what kind of terms you're talking about?
In any
Complex.
term you want. Any term you cherry pick. It's up to you.
Give me an example.
Well, you gave the example. What do you mean by complexity? I don't understand even that. But I said yes, it's complex. Okay, and it was for the
Yeah,
sake of
yeah.
argument.
I
I don't
mentioned,
understand in what terms you are talking about complexity. Okay, because
I mentioned
complexity
the
is
way of,
already a complex topic.
I mentioned the way of the brain works.
Okay,
You
so
know,
God works in a way. You think that brain is more complex than the way that God works?
you're asking me question now. Why you didn't answer to my question?
I'm just proving a point here. That's fine. And I already made even my statement because you say that it requires a designer, but when it comes to God, you're so afraid of accepting that God must be more complex because you know that I'm going to ask you, okay, then who designed the God? Because if complexity requires a designer, then God must need a designer. Your God must need a designer because your God is way more complex than a human brain, but you break the rule that you're creating in the first place. Complexity requires designer. I don't know the answer of this question. That's why I'm not giving you an answer. By the way, I already given the answer, okay? But it was not clear. But now it's clear.
Uh,
I don't know whether it requires a designer or not. It's hard to understand. To be
can
able
we
to claim that
define?
something has a designer, we need to see the designer first. We need to see the designer while designing that thing. Then we can be sure that, oh yeah, that thing has a designer. But if you
Can we
don't see, it's hard.
can we define God first of all, and then we can
You are
continue
the
from
one who
there?
believes in God. Maybe you should do that.
I did already. I'm just,
Oh really?
trying to see
When?
your definition of God.
When did you define God?
I define by
When?
my own research.
When did you
It
define
doesn't
here?
matter today.
Today you didn't define God. No.
I didn't define.
You didn't. We can go back check like you're here talking for maybe maximum 10 or 15 minutes. We can listen where exactly you define God.
We didn't get to the part yet. I asked you the question
You
just
said
now.
I defined that, and like you're clearly lying right now.
Okay, you're jumping again to conclusion. That's not good.
Yeah, based on what you said I defined it earlier, and now you're saying, oh, maybe I didn't get there yet.
No, I mean I defined earlier on, and for me it's clear. I don't know
Where
for you.
exactly you define God?
I will define. I defined on my own. I
You will
didn't say that I
define.
defined.
I defined. They're two opposite contradictory things.
You're catching me, to words, word by word. It
Yeah, I'm
doesn't work like that.
catching because you're lying. I'm catching your lies.
No, 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 sir.
Did you define God or not?
No, I didn't.
Okay, you didn't. Okay, why then you are not defining God? Because you are the one who believes that God exists.
Yes, that's true. Okay, let me define it that then for you. Okay,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. God for me is almighty, all-knowing, all-hearing, all-seeing. He's himself. He is not compared to anyone, and that's pretty basic definition for other people to understand. And he doesn't have a creator.
Okay, that's all.
That's my definition
Okay,
of God. What is your
I
definition of
accept your
God?
definition.
You accept my
Yeah,
definition.
I accept it. I don't have a problem with your definition. So, what's the point?
The point is that do you believe that he is all-knowing?
It's not about belief, it's about defining. That's the definition of God, right?
Yes, yes,
It's not
correct.
about belief, it's about definition.
Hmm.
Again, what's your
You
point?
if you agree that that's the God definition, therefore you admit that God exists.
No, you don't admit God exists. So, if I can define, by the way, I can define Superman here, that means Superman is real?
Well, Superman is
Forget
another thing
Superman.
compared to
Unicorn is
God.
also another thing. If I can define unicorn here, that means unicorns are real?
You're making question now.
Yeah, that's a question because I'm showing your mistake here. You're saying that, oh, I have a definition, therefore there must be such a thing. No, that's false. Just because you define something, that doesn't mean it's real.
So my definition about God is not real.
I don't know. I'm an agnostic, as you said, right? But what I know, just because you're able to define something, that doesn't mean there must be such a thing. Maybe that thing doesn't exist. Maybe it's just a concept that we created.
Thank you. There you go. That's why
Yeah.
I believe on these names,
Thank
as we call.
you. Thank you. Then it means you don't have good evidence. And now you are confessing that.
Evidence that God is all knowing.
No, evidence that God exists or evidence that there is such a thing.
How would you like me to give you evidence?
Oh,
How? In what kind of manner?
well, you can say I can give or not. So can you give evidence?
What kind of
Probably not.
evidence you're looking for? Then
Well, any evidence that I can
I
test.
will see. I told you already. I give you example. The
Example
human brain, you know,
is
it's
complex.
really complex, and
Okay.
the
Okay.
way how it
I
works,
also
it's
proved
perfect.
you. I also proved you that that just because something is perfect and complex, that doesn't mean it needs a designer. That's why I ask you, what would you think? And you were so afraid to answer, and you didn't even answer. But I just conclude that God must be more complex than the things that He created. The Creator cannot be simpler than the creation. He works in a perfect way, according to believers. If something is working perfectly, okay, and if it's complex, then that means it has a designer. But you don't believe in that. You break your own rule, and you didn't answer that. Why the hell you're breaking your own rule? You didn't
According
prove me
to
anything. You just show me that you are inconsistent. Okay, you create rules out of thin air, and you just apply your own rules and you break them whenever you want. That's unfair.
according
You know that, right?
according to your logic, so the human brain is complex. You admitted
It's
that,
not according to
and
logic, but anyway.
It works, right? It works perfectly.
No, I didn't say it works perfectly. You said that.
I'm saying it works perfectly. You don't think that the
It doesn't
human
need
brain
to
doesn't work?
work. It doesn't have to be perfectly working. If something is not working perfectly, that doesn't mean it doesn't have a designer. If something is working imperfectly, still it might have a designer. Okay, so being perfect or not is not important here.
I'm talking in principle. I'm not talking, for a specific person, because
Talking about what?
I'm talking in principles.
Principles? No, you're
Principles.
not talking in principles. You're just saying
That's
something
not
wrong.
you.
Also,
That's not
when you
you. That
say brain is
that's
perfectly
not you.
working, that doesn't mean it's you who decide what is working perfectly or not. Okay?
That's not you that decide if I'm wrong or right, because you're not having that authorization.
I have.
Show me then.
I just showed you. Okay?
You
So
show me.
phone. Do you
You show
think
me by words.
uh, uh,
That doesn't work.
I show you through logic? Look at your phone. Do you think that your phone is working perfectly? The answer is no. But it has a designer, right? So that's what I said. It doesn't have to be perfectly working. Still, it can have a designer. That's why it's so useless to talk about perfectness here. Okay? That's all. But you are saying, "Oh, who the hell are you? Like, well, are you the authority here? You're not the authority here." Blah blah. You want to confuse people? Fuck off. I'll block you. Let me again to guess. I will kick your ass off. Idiot. What I'm trying to do is just teaching you some logic, but you denied everything that I said. You were lying. You were a liar. You clearly lied, okay, many times. And then I showed you that you're inconsistent because when it comes to human brain, you accept that it's complex and you assume that it requires a designer. And I claim that, but you're not applying the same rule when it comes to your God because your God must be better than a human brain, more complex than a human brain, and you already believe that God is perfect. And you claim that human brain works perfectly, so that means it follows that God must also have a designer. But you didn't understand that. You were so unfair. You were just creating rules and you were stopping to use them when it comes to your God. That's so unfair. And then I pointed out other mistakes in your reasoning, and then you said, "Oh, you're not the authority here." Okay, and I said I am the authority because I know what I'm saying about logic. Okay, that was about only logic part, and I just showed that. And I pointed out unnecessary parts in your reasoning, which is you were talking about perfectness, and I said it's unnecessary because it doesn't mean there is no designer if something is not perfect. And the phone example was a good example to show that. But anyway, just because something is working, that doesn't mean also it has a designer. Oh, we. Welcome, man.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, man. I'm a little bit pissed off, but I'm okay.
Actually, Azan is being called, that's why I have to go to mosque. But I wanted to talk to you. Would you follow me this way so that I can reach you?
No, I wouldn't follow you. You can reach me anytime if you follow me.
So, how could I reach you? I want to talk to you.
Follow me and you will find this room.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Okay, if no one is talking, probably I'm gonna recreate the room. Waiting. Okay. So that means it's time to recreate. Bum, 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 da, bup, 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 bup. Okay, see you there. Pa-pa-pum. Muhammad. Halloum, halloum. Okay.
Are you doing?
What?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, how are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm fine, thanks. So, what is the topic, or what are you discussing?
Uh,
About what?
do you see that we are discussing right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is the topic? Why the whole room is silent?
Okay. So useless questions so far. We have topics on the screen that you can see. It's the welcome message. There are plenty of topics, and I'm just waiting for people to join, read, understand, then choose. If they're not able to choose, I can also choose, no problem. Then we can start having a conversation or a discussion. So that's how it works. And you should know that this is live on YouTube. We are not able to speak today.
Hi, who's microphone?
Oh, you're breaking a lot, man. You're breaking a lot. The best topic is the purpose of life. Oh, testing. Oh, you're talking about the thing that I said yesterday. Did you find the settings? I hope you did it. Let's test it. You were breaking. Maybe it was because of the internet. Okay, seemingly it's going to take some time. Awakul.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
They're the same things, right? Hello, hi. Oh yeah, you have seen it, right? Rita, Ekrem, Angelica. Okay, people have mics, and I hope we will have the best mic. Oh, dup.
Hi, bro. How are you?
Hi, man. I'm okay. How about you?
Perfect, bro. I'm having dinner right now.
Right now.
Right, exactly right now.
Okay. Okay. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Oh, there's a Batman in the room. Batman. Batman.
Hello, Casper.
Hello, Matt.
How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm also great, man.
You're great. Okay. Can't say I'm great.
Is there any specific topic to talk?
Yeah, there are. If you read the welcome message, you will see those specific topics. It's hard for you if you're
What is
also
this? What does this mean? Agnosticism.
agnosticism is not knowing God exists or not. This is agnosticism. If you don't know God exists or not, you're an agnostic.
So, what is the difference between atheism and agnosticism?
Atheism is not believing a God exists.
Hmm.
So atheism is about belief and not believing, but agnosticism is about not knowing.
Okay.
It means that God didn't exist.
What? Which one? Which one?
Atheism.
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 Yo, sorry, atheism.
Atheism. Yeah, like there are two types of atheism. So the first one is called hard atheism.
Okay, like I have a question. If you don't mind, can I just go ahead with that?
I mind when people interrupt someone when they're about to explain something. I really mind. Okay, so there are two types of atheism. The first one is hard atheism. And hard atheism, people believe that there is no God. They believe, actively, they believe that there is no God. And the second type of atheism is called soft atheism. They do not actively believe. They say, I'm not convinced that God exists. There's lack of belief. I don't believe. That doesn't mean they say that, oh, you know what? I think there's no God. That's not the way that they approach. They just don't have the belief that a God exists, or they're not convinced yet. And they are more open minded than
Mhm.
hard atheists.
So, like soft atheism is agnosticism.
Soft atheism is agnostic atheism.
So, I'm not getting the term. Like, what is the difference? Like, main difference?
I just
Like,
explained the
you're saying that
difference.
atheism. Listen, you're saying that atheism means like God do not exist, and they believe that one who is an atheist believes that God do not exist, and there is no God. But agnosticism says
That's
that
the
there may be
problem.
God or may
That's
not
the
be God.
problem.
I
That's
don't
the
know.
problem. That's the problem. You just
Hmm.
like partially listen what I said. That's the problem. I explained clearly that there are two types of atheism, and you only mentioned about the first type of atheism. Yes, the first type believes that there's no God, but the second type that they just lack belief in God. There's a difference here. It's really hard for people to see that difference, okay? But agnosticism is about not knowing God exists or not. And there are also types of agnosticism, okay? There's also hard agnosticism. They say that even if there is a God, we cannot know whether God exists or not. This is hard agnosticism. And the other one is soft agnosticism, which is they say, I don't know God exists or not. That's all. And there's no need to talk about the third type of agnosticism because it's unnecessary. But here's the thing, when you don't know God exists or not, you can believe a God exists, or you can say, I don't believe a God exists. You can be both. Depends on you. Because you don't have to know something just to believe in something. If you don't know something, you can still believe in. Okay, you can believe either God exists or God doesn't. Like you can believe in that, or you can say I don't believe a God exists, but at the same time I don't know God exists or not. That's all. Is it clear now, or if not, I can go further.
It's fine. All
Fine?
right.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but okay.
Okay. So do you think that,
Okay,
let
so
me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. So there are
uh,
many people believe God exists, right?
yeah.
Do you think that they really know God exists or they just believe?
Yes, they know that God exists.
Really?
Yes.
Really? They know.
Ask me. I know that God
I'm not
exists.
asking, I'm asking in general.
Yeah, like in me, like I don't know about people, but I know
I
about
know about
myself that
people.
I feel that I know that God exists.
You claim to know God exists. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know that there are many people, they don't know God exists, but still they believe a God exists.
Yeah, but they believe that there is God, and someday they will meet Him. So there is God, actually.
There's God actually? No, you don't know that.
Yeah,
You claim to know that.
yeah. When there is nobody, so you connect to yourself and you do some, meditation and something like that,
Oh,
and then you get to connection, like
really?
intuitions and something
Oh,
like that, and then you
if I
come to
work
know that
so
yeah, there
hard,
is God.
if I work so hard and if I sleep, if I see
Mm-hmm.
dragons in my dream, then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's the connection. That means dragons are real, right?
And there are various types of dreams. Like there
Yeah.
is some subconscious mind in which you see the dreams, but it does not necessarily mean that it has some connection with the God.
Okay. Your meditation also
Yeah.
not necessarily mean there's a
Hmm.
God. You
But
just have
there
an
is
experience.
there
No, no, it
you are
isn't.
having a soul. You are having a soul,
You don't know that
and
also. You claim to know that. I don't believe in soul. There's no good evidence for
hmm
soul, okay?
hmm okay, there may be somebody who has created this universe, or
But
it is
no.
created automatically.
Do you think that God is created automatically?
Sorry.
Do you think God is created automatically also? You believe God exists, right? You even said, I
Yeah.
know God exists. Do you think that God has been created automatically?
See, I have like God has no form. Like there are a lot of beliefs upon
Doesn't
the God's
matter. I don't care about the
existence.
form, but you
Like there
think
are
that
lots of
God
kinds of
exists
religion.
automatically.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
No, I'm not
There are a
listening
lot.
to you if I'm not getting
Yeah.
answers from
Some
you.
someday. See.
No, no, see. I'm not listening to you if you're not listening to me, okay? That's the rule. Do you think God exists automatically? That's a clear question, simple question. And it shows your problem. You have a problem. You think that universe cannot exist without a creator, but you believe that God can exist without a creator. This is unfair. You don't have a rule for that. It's just your belief. You believe one thing can exist without a creator, and you believe the other thing cannot exist without a creator. This is just belief. There's no logic in it, there's no evidence in it. That's not cool. You should know that.
Yeah, so some time ago, we were having limited knowledge. Like if you talk about like 40 or 4 decades ago or 40 years ago, or like many years ago, we do not have the like we don't
So
know
what?
anything about
So what?
science, right? We had limited knowledge,
So
but our
what?
knowledge keeps on increasing.
So what?
And we used to believe we had no concept of gravitation, right?
So
And we
what?
used to believe that the earth is
So
something
what?
round shaped.
So what?
So like what we believe is necessarily not true, right?
What you
But
believe is
I'm
not
saying
necessarily true.
that
Who? No one said
yeah,
that. It can be
what
true. It's either true or false.
it can be true, it cannot be true. So there are a lot of theories
So what? So what?
for everything, like for God also, like in various religions there are lots of theories, the human existence, a lot of theories,
So
you
what?
understand, like
Again.
in
So what?
Hinduism.
So what?
In
You're
Hindu, yeah,
just
I'll
just
tell you.
creating word salad here. So what? Get to the point.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there are like lots of theories. So theories can be wrong. These theories all are based on upon the
So
belief
what?
system on the existence of God,
So you accept that
right?
your belief can be false, also, right? But you claim to know
But
God
you said
exists.
that it can be correct or it cannot be correct, or it
Yeah,
can
I
be
don't
true,
know
it
the
cannot be
answer.
true,
I don't
right?
know the answer, but you said that I
Yeah.
know a God exists, okay? When you claim to know
But I
something,
believe that God exists, so
oh,
you cannot question my
now you
belief.
say that. I was not
Yeah, you
questioning
cannot
your
question my
belief.
belief.
I
Like
was
I might
not
be.
I was not questioning your belief. Don't be an asshole, okay? When I ask you, you said I know a God exists. It's obvious that a God. That's what you said. That's why I started questioning, okay? But now you're saying, "Oh, it's my belief. You can't question that." You should make up your mind, okay? Like, do you claim to know God exists, or you just believe God exists? Because when someone claims to know something, I really require good evidence, okay? When it comes to belief, like belief can come in many different ways, okay? Maybe you believe for the sake of your mentality, okay? Maybe you feel good, maybe that's why you believe. I don't care about that. That's okay. I don't even question that. But when you claim to know something, I'm so curious. Like, wow, someone knows a God exists. So how? When I ask you how, why, and you keep saying, "Oh, there are many theories out there. People believe in many other things, believe in many other things." So what? It doesn't prove your God exists. But luckily, in the end, you said, "Oh no, it's my belief." So that means you don't know a God exists. You just believe that a God exists. And as I said, maybe it's true or false. And I don't know that. I don't know the answer. You also don't know the answer. You just believe that God exists. That's all. Anyway, I'm gonna recreate the room. It's time to create the new room. And what about your microphone, man? Let's test it before the new room. Are you still there?
Hi, hi, hi. Yes, yes, I'm very much here. I was just rewatching that Soul video.
Oh, rewatching. So that will be our next topic. Cool. So are you hearing me
Yes,
through your Bluetooth?
yes, I'm hearing you through your
You
Bluetooth.
sound perfectly, man, right now.
Yeah, because I'm using the microphone of my webcam.
Webcam.
So,
This is the webcam.
yes,
Your
yes,
webcam is
this
so
is
amazing. You
webcam.
should know that.
Thank you so much. It was a
Yeah.
gift from a friend. And
Oh, cool,
thanks to
cool.
him.
Yeah, anyway. So I will recreate. We can talk about soul in the next room, okay?
Yes, yes, recreate. After
Sure.
every conversation, we can recreate so that we have more audience.
I hope. I hope if I don't kick all of them. Okay, you were watching the soul video.
Yes, does soul exist? It has got nice views also, and it's a very nicely animated video.
Hey, thanks
So,
for appreciation. But I think, if I'm not wrong, those views are not like real views. I was uh using promotions. I mean, those videos are promoted by YouTube. I paid YouTube to promote my videos. That's how I got those views. They're
and
just
no, no worries.
empty.
I know it is live. That's why I'm telling. So it's between us. So it was a very
No,
nice
it was
video, and
not.
it was.
No. But wait a second. Okay, you were not even sincere about the nice part.
No, no, no. The video was very nice indeed.
Okay.
The car anyway. Like I was wondering, did you make all these animations, or you paid someone to do the stuff?
Okay. So here's the thing. I did all the stuff, but come on, like those things. I'm not drawing those things. They're ready, but I edit many of them. I even edit images. Sure, I'm not creating an image. Oh, wait a
The
second.
car
Sometimes I'm
soul was
creating.
wonderful.
The
The
car
car soul.
soul. I don't remember. Wait, I should check.
Yes,
I
yes,
kind of
yes.
remember, but I should see it.
Uh, and the soul, car soul leaving the car was something very interesting.
The soul exists. Oh yeah, like the thumbnail. I like the thumbnail even. So let's mute. Okay, why we're not showing it here? Oops. I can see it here. Oh yeah, that's the one. Does soul exist? This is one of the most mysterious topics. I want to bring a different point of view to this question. As
So
always, I
yesterday,
will give
whatever
my
examples
answers
you were
in advance. I
explaining,
don't know if the
after
soul
watching the
exists or
video, I
not, but I
thought
don't.
like, okay, they were from there.
Okay.
So
It's too late. Let me check it separately.
at and timestamp, I'll tell you at 3 minutes exactly. This
Oh,
the car
okay.
soul is leaving.
The
Yes,
car
three
soul.
minutes. It's wonderful.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing. So I edited that part. So yeah, I just can't copy paste it. So yeah, that was indeed the tail part of the car belongs to human soul. I just cut that part and I attached to the car. So
Yes, yes, yes. The tail part, and it looks wonderful. I was actually wondering, like, you left it on a note where you said, since something cannot be explained physically, then it must be metaphysical. At that note, you left it. So, if something cannot, I know that's true. If something cannot be explained physically, then it doesn't mean that it's metaphysical. Like, so,
that's
by
creating arguments from ignorance. That's a very you know
Hello, guys.
general logical mistake that people commit always.
yes,
That's how people
I've
start.
realized this after speaking to you. So, thank you so much.
Welcome.
It was
Let
wonderful.
me see what other things that I used. Oh, I use that again.
I have a
It's
question for you guys.
326.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's another time I use it. Yeah,
It's
man,
upon
ask your
you.
question.
Why we need God for our existence?
Why do we not need, like, who said that we need?
If not, so why this religion are like doing a lot of crazy thing all the time?
Because people are crazy.
But how can you say that most of them are crazy? Like if in this world have 5 billion are religious.
I didn't say that most of them are crazy. The people who
All
created
don't
religions can be
understand
crazy.
before all.
Who's
I don't
speaking?
understand before. I don't
What the heck? Who
understand
is
before.
talking? Who is
I
talking?
said guest. That was
Mahmoud.
a mistake. Unset guest. Okay, that was so annoying. Let me
Yeah.
solve the problem.
So I don't know that why you need God. I mean, we just come here for some time, and why you need a lot of practice, a lot of religion? What's wrong?
Why people do that? There are many reasons behind that. But like, well, one of the reasons, maybe that's true. Maybe God exists. Maybe God said, I'm here and care about my existence. Maybe that's why people care about God and religion. So I don't know the
Even
answer.
something is not exist, and still why like thousand more than a lot of thousand years we are not lot of like 2 3 4 thousand years why we are care about we don't see we don't have any proof so why I don't find this.
Why? These are just questions, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. I should rewatch the video. Okay.
What?
Nothing. So you don't believe in God, right?
Ah, and yes, I don't believe in God.
What?
I'm like agnostic. It's like I don't bother about there is God or not. If there is, let them be alone. Let
Okay,
me
but
be alone.
that means you don't believe God exists.
Yes, I don't believe in God exist.
Okay. Okay. It's okay.
It's not good thing, you know. If you being believe in God, there is a lot of like good stuff happen, or there is some good thing also being believing on God. But I want to believe, but I can't now. I mean, now that situation, I can't believe God. But I
Okay.
wish I can believe in God.
Okay. Why you wish
Yes.
to believe in God?
Because if you believe in God, if you're seeing some religious people, they are so much disciplined. They are so much like not everyone. Most of them, they have some aim of their life, kind of thing. You know, they do every day same thing. They are in discipline more than non-religious people. What I see.
Okay. You need discipline. That's why you want to believe in a God. You want to follow religion. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but now I can't. I mean, even I want, but a lot of question is coming. That's not make to be believing.
Oh man, it's not one of those that I paid. It only
Huh?
have 100 views.
Yes, I was appreciating 108 views. I didn't want to number the views, but I said, oh, it was amazing because it's live. So I was promoting you
Come
without
on.
any payment.
We are not hiding anything. Come on. I'm not ashamed. It's okay.
The other video is that like, do we need God for soul to exist or soul without God? It has also got 101 views. I'm looking for the one which you promoted.
Okay. Yeah, there are those that I promoted. Hmm. Yeah, but it was a mistake to promote them.
It's nice. There were so many points like after I watched the video again, then I thought, oh, I could have made this point also, that point also. It always happens. So it's always nice that these videos are recorded and they are available. So
Yeah, you
it's
know what?
really wonderful.
That's really helpful when I rewatch. Okay, not the lives. Like it's hard to rewatch the lives.
Mhm.
I'm not able to do that right now. But the others that I recorded and I edited, those ones, sometimes I'm listening them back, and then I say, oh wait, I could have given this example, And sometimes I say, wait a second, I wasn't right there. The guy was right here. And then I just check all the points by myself, try to understand. So it's really good exercise to rewatch them.
Yes, yes, it was wonderful. Like you gave this grass example to me. Actually, I can watch my part in the life. That's
Last
that I can do.
example, what was that?
You told me that since it's raining and I know that there is grass and I can light a fire and it would
Ah,
burn since it's not raining. So I just had this point to make, because at least you have seen that when you burn the grass, dry grass, then fire is there. So at least one of us realizes something. Whatever you're saying, you have witnessed it. So since I haven't witnessed it, so I may agree to it, may not. But like at least you know the things, no, you know that dry grass would burn. But since I haven't seen it, so if I don't believe it, I'm not at fault. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing, right? You don't we don't need to know deeply about those topics, but we can analyze and we can assume a lot of things about those things based on what we know. So you know the grass, I know the grass, you know the fire, I know the fire. We know how it works, right? So then we can say, wait a second, these topics are not different than any other topics, okay? They work in a similar way. So if there's a contradiction here, or if there's a pattern here, we can apply those patterns to other topics that we don't know deeply. So that's why I go and find those simple examples all the time, because it tells us a lot of things about those deep topics.
yes. So I'm like, this is for the last time I'm making this point. So when when I was yesterday talking about origin of life, and so from the knowledge that we have, I was deducing something and I was finding my way.
Yeah,
So that was my understanding or my idea. So that
I
was
see.
one thing. And the second one was, you told that since we have made the car, since we have created the car, we know things in greater details and we can mend it, we can fix it, yeah, where it is wrong. And we don't have that deeper understanding of our body. So that was one point I just wanted to reiterate. Maybe I was trying to ask that, see, all the material that is required to make a car is always present, and all the material required to create life, as you said, and we agree, that is always present. And you told there might have been a circumstance where life originated from all this matter.
Well,
And
if you go further, if you like claim that, wait a second, there's something more here included,
mhm,
which is soul, right? We need
yes,
separate evidence for that. We can't say, look, this is working like that, and it must be because of the no. Like, because it leads you to the again the logical mistake that you're trying to explain something you don't understand by appealing to something unknown. Okay, that
I
doesn't
just
work
had,
like that.
yes, like we can halt here and I'll make one new point. Have you heard, like, what is your opinion on the testimonies of the people who say, I was dead and I came back
Near that
again? And
experience. Oh, I have a video about that.
no, no, near death experience I'm not talking about. Like people who say that I was something in my last birth and they remember
Oh, reincarnation.
reincarnation. Like they people are studying those reincarnation. We have books and stuff
Yeah,
and
but
testimonies of the people.
well, we have testimonies are not reliable about those topics. You should know that. I can also claim that I was Julius Caesar in my previous life. Okay, so is it real?
No, no, no. That, so like they are telling, I'll give you an example. There was a kid who from a very young age, he used to tell like what he was in his previous life, how he got killed, whom was he married, and like he was born at a different place, like from where he claimed he was from his past life. So when he was little young, like when he grew up a little bit, so they took him to that place and he could recognize his house, people, his wife in past life, how he died, where was the cabinet, something that only a husband could tell, like about the wife.
This
He
whole
told.
this whole can be the story. Whatever you're telling me right now, this can be the entire story also.
Yes, it can be a story, but like there are several studies. Like we may
But
believe
those
on them.
studies are not really good. Like I checked some of them. Even like people suggested, hey, you know what? Like these scientists, they were like analyzing those things. But like then I have read the other reviews, and that they made a lot of points why those things are not reliable. So some of them were engaging very deeply with those subjects in the example, and most likely they were just biased by so some of their beliefs. So and those are not real. We don't have reliable studies about these things, and it
Can
might
these
in
things be studied scientifically? Like if someone is claiming, do we have anything to verify? We can have lie detector tests, etc., etc. But do we have any concrete setup to?
we
Uh,
don't have. That's why it's not believable, right?
so it doesn't mean like
People
if we
try to
don't have
study.
any measures to uh, test them, how does they like? How does it make their claim void?
Again, it's not about they're false. Even if they're true, we don't have good evidence to say that they're true. Okay, that's not claiming that they're false or lying or liars. Okay,
Okay, good.
it's about like to start to believe in something. So like I can make a lot of claims just because you're not able to disprove. That doesn't mean you should believe in whatever I say, right?
Yeah, true, absolutely.
Yeah, that should go like by the evidence, like not like, hey, wait a second, I have all those claims. Prove me wrong. That's
Uh-huh.
shifting the burden of the proof. Like it's not my job to disprove those things, okay? It's their job to present good evidence. And it's always some people are claiming those things. And by the way, in some other cultures, they don't have these stories. Like, do you think that reincarnation works only in India or in
No, no,
Asia?
no. There was a foreigner also. Like there are so many
No,
people
that's
from outside
possible.
India.
Yeah, but people are now really interested in those cultures, and they can easily interact with those cultures, not like in the past. So yeah, that's why you can find those
Like,
examples in different places also, but they're mostly in specific regions. Like what about this? Like alien abduction stories comes mostly from United States, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Something like that. So that doesn't mean you can't find anyone claiming that they have been abducted by aliens in other countries. That's not the claim. But mostly, like these are, experienced, like heard in specific places. Yes, those people.
I just wanted to make this point. Uh, like I know it's not a very strong point, but I just
So
wish to share
what's the point?
like like this point of like people telling their past life stories or stuff.
Hmm?
And then there is one more point that some people are born with certain fears and phobias and stuff. So since the composition is the same, like the material composition is the same, so how come the composition of the brain is the same, but people have different fears or they have inherent talents? Someone can sing very nicely from birth, and so how do we
Are we
like
are
any
differentiating?
understand? Yes, how do we understand those things? Because chemically the composition is the same,
Okay, like,
but
I will give you one example. Imagine two apples.
okay,
One of the apples is on your table, and the other apple is on the roof of your house. Okay. Okay, so far okay.
okay,
Can you expect them to be the same after one day?
no,
Okay, but they were the same apples, right? Why now they're
yes.
different? What
They
made
were in
them
different
different?
conditions,
Yes,
different environmental conditions.
exactly. So that's the answer.
But if let us say like there are twins, they're born under similar conditions, sharing same womb, same environment,
But they're
but
not
still we
sharing.
find
They're not sharing same memories, same experiences. Like you can't say that they have identical friends. You can't say they experience everything in the same way or at the same time or whatever.
no,
So
no, I'm not telling they grow old and become a very good singer or very talented. No, from like at very infant stage, like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, we can see like their inclinations are different and stuff.
that's
I'm not
normal because
talking
they're
about when they
different
grow up.
people. They're not, you know, copy paste machine. They're not copy paste machines. They're different people. That's why they might have different inclinations.
And what about the fears that they have? Like there
Like,
is no.
let's suppose one of the twins went outside and he was attacked by 10 dogs, and the other
Mhm.
twin didn't have such an accident. So don't you think it's like logical to expect the one who was attacked by dogs having a fear of dogs, and the other no, because he didn't have such an experience.
Okay, so like suppose I'm never exposed to water, like large water bodies swimming and stuff, but I still have this fear of water, fear of drowning and stuff.
And
So
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 what?
how so like is there any scientific, because again I'll
Oh,
come
like
to like
there are some
chemical
scientific
composition.
explanations. Yeah, there are some scientific explanation for some specific fears. Okay, for example, fear of bugs, fear of
Mhm.
falling from high places, or probably even fear of drowning. So I think those kind of fears can be transferred, through DNA. I'm not sure, but I think there was a study like why the humans are afraid of bugs and the feeling of falling right from the
Mhm.
sky. So these are explained genetically.
Yes. So like some emotion like this fear, phobias and all. I just wish to understand this. They have a physical implication. For example, like if we say it is transferred through DNA and DNA is matter only. So here we are trying to say that certain change in the material composition can lead to these emotions of fear and other stuff.
Why not?
Mhm. But we don't know exactly how, but or
Okay,
we
let's
can
suppose we
tap.
don't know. I don't know, maybe we know. Well, as I said, like those fears, as I know, they're transferred, through the genes. I'm not sure about that.
Yes, yes, it can be because
Yeah.
how do you see emotions and you obviously know fear, anxiety, all these emotions we know, and we know to some extent they are related to some chemicals. Uh, like when I say chemicals, means like some materials, some physical thing is there. So do you believe all these emotions and the reactions and everything, or they are just triggered by this chemical compositions only?
No, not only like we can also trigger those chemicals by thinking, right?
Hmm.
So let's suppose you have fear of snakes, okay? But you're not in the forest, you're just at home. Let's suppose you're not living in a place where snakes enter houses, okay? Let's don't think like that. But you have huge fear, and now you start to thinking about snakes. Someone's started speaking about snakes like I'm doing right now. This may
Hmm.
trigger those chemicals also because you just think about it. Okay.
I get it. I get it. So any stimulus can, any external factor can just stimulate those
Yeah,
or trigger those things, and it can work out. Yes,
yeah.
I want to understand one more point. So we all know that we have mind, like we use it in our common terms, like use your mind, apply your mind. So we know there is something called mind, but there is no physical sanctity of it. Like I cannot
Like
tell
sound, right?
is sound,
Yeah.
mind, or say one more word, intelligence. So three things.
Okay. So,
So how do we physically explain those things? We know they exist. We know like people have intelligence or something, but it doesn't have a physical. What do you say?
like sounds.
Yes, sound still has physical implications. We know like it's due to vibration. So sound, we know it
Yeah,
has.
due
We
to
know the
vibration, but it doesn't have, physicality. Like, well, we don't say sound exists, right? I mean, we can't pinpoint it. We can't show it, right?
yes, but we can observe it. It has physical implications. Like
No,
if we have
it's no,
force
like,
and
it's just the vibration of the other objects, right?
yes, yes,
It's just
indeed.
vibrating objects. Like there's no sound externally, right?
Hmm.
It's not like a cup. It's not like your phone on the table, right? It's just a property arising from, the interaction of two things or maybe more.
Hmm. Yes. So I
We
just
can't pinpoint and show, hey, here's the sound. Like yeah, we can hear it. We can say, oh, it's coming from here. Okay, but
yes,
like,
like
like you
we
can
can
imagine like
perceive
that.
it
Well,
physically.
yeah, and we can perceive intelligence also in that way. Okay, so how you define intelligence or consciousness? We have
Mm,
definitions, right?
we might have technical definitions which I'm not
Okay,
aware of.
so when we see an action which matches with those technical terms, we say, okay, there is consciousness here, like the sound.
Hmm.
So sound is generated from those things, and mind or consciousness is generated through the brain, like the sound.
Yes, very good. Uh, just one point, and then we can come back to this. Like for sound, we have senses. We have sense to perceive sound. We have sense organ to perceive light or pictures, but we
Mhm.
don't have sense organ, no physical sense organ or to perceive mind or intelligence.
Okay, like how you perceive motion.
Motion.
Yeah.
It's the combination of eyes and ears, like light and sound.
Okay, then you can use those combinations to perceive consciousness also, or mind. Whatever your definition is, you can use those senses together and to say that, oh, okay, there must be mind here.
Okay, it's good, but I want to
Okay,
say that
so
yeah,
like
we have a
minds,
physical. Huh?
yeah, minds we attribute to humans and animals, right? Animals do also have minds, right?
Yes,
Okay, but
can't confirm.
let's say they don't have to make it easier to understand. Okay, so
Yes.
what shows something has a mind? What shows? What is the signs of the mind? Language? Can I say it's a good sign of mind?
I don't think.
You don't think? Okay, so what is a
Like
good evidence for mind?
I'm thinking. I'm using my mind, but
We're not
I'm
able.
using my mind.
Okay, let's
I'm
ask
using my mind.
here AI. Okay.
Yes, you can ask AI. We can take the help. But language, like someone who's dumb and deaf, he also has mind. He also has some desires. I guess. Like it's like if I have to define in my understanding, mind is the source of all the desires, feeling, willing, and doing. So yes, you can.
Here's some good signs of healthy mind. No, I didn't say healthy. Some good signs of a mind without specifying healthy. Creativity, the ability to generate new ideas, solutions. Okay. Curiosity, a desire to learn and explore. These are so vast. Intelligence, the capacity for understanding, learning, and reasoning. The power to form mental images and concepts. Okay. Form mental concepts. Memory, the ability to retain it. Well, it will be hard for us, right?
Yes.
But generating new ideas. So, do you think a rock generates new ideas?
I have no means to confirm that.
So, we don't have evidence that a rock can generate ideas,
Yes.
right? So, then there's no good reason to believe that a rock has a mind.
Yes, there's no good reason to believe that rock
Okay,
has a
so
mind.
when it
Perfect.
comes to your example about humans deaf and blind and other things, that's just a specific exception because you can check other humans, you see that they have those sorts of abilities, but when we check all the rocks, all of them, we don't see that they can create ideas or they can solve problems. We don't have good reason to believe that that's the case. Curiosity, a desire to learn and explore. So, do you think a rock is exploring things?
No, there's no good evidence to say that.
Okay, but how to understand whether this is the case or not? By observing, right? We can use our eyes,
Yes.
we can use our ears. Okay, if we were hearing rocks talking to each other, then
Hmm.
we could say, wait a second, they're talking to each other. It would be really hard to also verify whether they are talking. Okay, that's another thing because just because we hear something, that doesn't mean it's a language or communication. It maybe just sounds, okay, created naturally, like something is dropping on the ground and creating the sound vibrations,
Like
right?
river
Maybe
is
it's like
flowing
that.
and it's making some sound. I don't know
What?
if it's a good example.
You
Like
mean
when river
waterfall?
flows,
Yeah, yeah, a
yeah,
very good
waterfalls.
example. Very good example. So that doesn't mean it's trying to communicate, right? It's hard to
True.
know that. Maybe that is the case, but like we need really good evidence to verify. Wait, like it was trying to communicate with us. Um. So, but again, like we don't see any indication that those things are communicating, trying to communicate, or even trying to communicate each other.
Yes.
So, but how to verify that? Like by using our eyes and ears. So let's imagine a tree. Okay, have you
Hmm.
seen Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings. I've seen. I know. Like long back, I saw.
Okay, do you remember there were trees? They were speaking, walking.
Yes, like I
Okay,
can
no
imagine.
problem. And like my example is not exactly about those trees, but yeah, imagine a
Yes.
tree. Okay, you're walking in the forest. Okay,
Hmm.
and somehow you know you heard something, but you don't understand. Well, what's that? What's that sound? Okay, can you say that like the trees trying to talk to you?
No.
No, like what would be the good evidence that the tree is trying to talk to you? What is the
Hmm.
good evidence here? For example, if I heard the noise, okay, the voice or whatever the sound, okay, sure, that's a terrible evidence to claim that tree is speaking. But if it's like, imagine it was like this. Hmm. Okay, that's nothing. But
Hmm.
imagine at the same time, the branch of the tree is touching you every time it says, hmm. And you change your location,
Hmm.
the sound says, hmm. And it touches with another branch on you again. And it's like, and double touches on you. And it says, three times. And it touches three times on you. Okay. And it says, double again, two times touching you. So then at that time, maybe you could, wait a second. Like there is a correlation here. Like it's like mathematics. Like it's creating this sound two times and touching me two times. And by the way, trees don't have the ability to touch. But now I observe that trees intentionally touching someone,
Hmm.
right?
True.
It's not random. You change your location, another branch is touching you, and it's not windy even outside. So that seems magical, right? That
Yes.
doesn't follow the rules that we know. But in that case, we could say, wait a second, this tree's aware of my existence somehow, reacting my existence here. And even it seems like a communication. Even at that time, like it's hard to maybe say that that was a communication, but at least those are some indications that that might be a communication
Hmm.
because there's even mathematical correlation between the sounds and the actions of the branches. But anyway, why I'm telling this and I'm lost right now.
Hmm. Yes, I
Yeah.
was I
Oh,
was waiting
okay.
for the point.
Good, good, good. The point is we don't know exactly, but we know that we have no evidence to assume that those natural things in the nature has a mind trying to communicate or doing something. Like just because they have mind, that doesn't mean they're supposed to communicate also. That's another
Yes.
thing. Or that doesn't mean we can understand their communication. Maybe like someone can suggest that. How do you know, asshole? Maybe those two mountains next to each other, they're talking to each other. Maybe they're talking. You don't know that. Oh yeah, I don't know that. I already said that, but I don't have good evidence to believe that they're talking.
Okay.
But maybe they're talking telepathically or in a different way. Maybe they use different kind of frequencies to communicate each other. Okay,
Mm.
but this is an falsifiable claim. I mean, we don't have evidence for such a claim.
It's
We can
like, for
entertain
example,
any kind of idea like that.
yes. In case of animals, we know that they communicate via infrared, like uh, ultrasound, or like sound, like very high frequency sound or very low frequency sound, which normally it's beyond our range to perceive without any
Hmm.
instruments.
Yeah,
So
but
if we don't have instruments to measure, we may never understand
we
that
may
thing.
never understand. But
We may never understand.
when we start to believe that they have some sort of communication, the time that we gather evidence for it, assuming that planets are talking to each other is just an assumption,
Yes, it's
right?
just an assumption.
And all those things just will be an assumption. And the problem is we can assume a lot of things, right? We can say that they have minds, but they're not communicating, okay? Because like having a mind doesn't necessarily means that they're supposed to communicate each other, right?
Yes.
Maybe each thing has their own special minds, which they don't know how to communicate with other things, or they don't have the ability, manners to communicate. They didn't figure out how to communicate with external, world. So that's all. Like we can't go
Yes.
and say that they have minds.
Yes. But we know for ourselves at least that human beings have something called mind.
Yeah, and like as the AI
Uh,
explained here, creativity, curiosity, intelligence,
like these
imagination,
are the
memory.
traits, but
These are the
there is no
descriptions what
physical.
we observe. Yeah.
Yes. Like if we have mind, and if someone has healthy mind or mind, there can be different levels. Like creativity has levels. Everyone, we can say everyone can be creative, but there can be different degree. Everyone is curious, but different degree.
Yeah, but like
Intelligence, different
again,
degree.
but I think you're again doing the same mistake. You're seeking
Yes.
for an external, separate entity here to explain the case. So we are not saying people have hotness. People have it. We don't speak like it's an external thing. People are hot, right? We have
Yes.
temperature. We are hot. This is inherent, right? We don't speak
Mhm.
as if it's something separate from the body. It's just
Yes.
the
When
material.
when when we say body, we means like physically. Body means we can
Yeah.
verify. Actually, with physical things, like with eyes, we can see, with we can touch. But when it comes to mind, if it is inherent, it's in the body, but it's not physical. It's not something which is physical. Like this point, I wanted to make. Like, is mind physical, or it's something which is not physical? We know it's within the body. We know that you have mind, I have mind,
Huh?
but so is it something which is not physical? I just want to understand.
Oh, when you say not physical, what do you mean exactly?
Because see, we have
So,
we
did you
can
think that?
perceive physical
Okay,
things through our
okay.
senses. I can see, hear, touch, and so if anything is there which I cannot see, touch, and hear, taste, five senses we have got. If something I cannot observe by these five senses, so I can say like it's not physically physical, or like physically verifiable, or something to this line. So we know that we have mind, but physically we cannot tell. Like, we know it's in the body, but we cannot tell like, okay, this is the mind, or but it is. There is an entity called mind which is not physical.
Which is not physical.
Yes, we know it is there, but we cannot physically verify it.
Okay. Yeah, but brain is there, right? You can touch the brain. You can see the brain.
So then again, the same thing would come, that the composition of the brain
Okay,
is the
like
same.
you're saying this. Okay. For example, did you hear that?
For example,
Okay, you didn't hear. Oh, let me do something. Did you hear that I use noise cancellation? That's why you don't hear the sounds that I'm making. But imagine that I hit on the table with the phone, okay?
hmm,
Then the sound appeared, right?
hmm,
When I look at my phone, I don't see the sound. I don't touch the sound. I don't feel the sound. But it has
hmm.
this thing, right? Like if I open my phone, I wouldn't see the sound. I wouldn't even hear it. And you know, and you can think about mind in that way. So we know where it comes from, but when it comes to observing, it doesn't work like that, though. So some properties can be observed in different ways. So, like creativity is observable, right? That's the description of the mind. We describe things, then we can observe those things, right? Those motions,
Yes.
and that we can see, right? But again, you think that mind is something like external, something immaterial, but still something external. You think like that. And I think that's creating some problems. Again, if I look at the phone, I don't see the sound. If I say that, hey, man, I look at the phone, I don't see the sound. I don't hear the sound also. Okay? That means
Yes,
what? What does it mean?
but you could observe the sound when it was produced.
Yeah, and you can observe the mind when it's produced, like creativity, ideas, right? You can observe even
So it's like
curiosity.
sometimes we have mind and sometimes we don't have mind. Like, if
Oh,
someone is
that's not what I
sleeping.
meant. That's not what I meant because, like, our brains are nearly always active, okay? But there can be a phone, okay, which generating the sound always, okay? I can make a machine and then I can create sound through the phone all the time. And you could hear the sound all the time.
You could record
So
the sound.
I could what?
You can record the sound also, and it can be played again and again also.
That's something
Like,
else. But anyway,
yes, sorry.
like the phone or the sound and the brain, they don't work in the same way. So that's why you shouldn't expect the same results.
Yes, we are trying to explain something which is observable, like something which is not observable with something which we can observe. Sound in any form is can be perceived. So sound is very much physical. We have a physical quantity for sound.
Okay,
We have
yeah, but
uh,
it's saying like
units.
this, man. We. Where is motion? Can you show me the motion? The motion. Show me the motion.
Motion is relative change in position.
Oh,
So
okay, okay, but like there's no such a thing, right? The motion.
when
Like, can we find the motion in the universe? Where's the motion? Is there anything like that?
how do
Is
you
it
define
something
motion?
physical? Motion is something physical
Yes.
entity. Okay, can you show me the
See,
picture of motion?
distance is like motion means relative change in position, and that change is
Okay,
measured in length,
okay,
and
and that
length is a
change
physical
is,
quantity.
yeah, that change is made by those objects, right? Either a car or a human walking, right? So
Yes.
that they are related to the object. So there's no such a thing that you can see physically motion. There's no such an entity, right? It's just a
Length is the
description.
physical quantity.
It's just a description of what you observe in the object. Object moves. Oh, then you say, oh, there is motion here. But that doesn't mean motion physically existing separately from the objects. Okay? It's just you're describing what you see, and what you see is the object is moving, and you call this motion. Okay? Again, if I say,
Yes.
hey, man, wait a second, it moves, so there must be motion in it. Motion. There must be such an entity, right? Separate thing in the machine so that it's moving. Motion must be an external, you know, entity. Like that
No, I'm
sounds
telling like
crazy, right?
okay,
That sounds
like
that sounds
I'll give
crazy.
you an example.
Why I'm giving you this crazy example
Mhm.
because that might be your case about mine. Okay,
No,
mine can
it's
be
not the case.
emotion. Okay, it's just emotion. It's just a result that you see while the mind is while the brain is working. It's just the outcome, like the motion.
Now, for example, the outcome can be thinking. Say I'm thinking something. So you cannot see like if I say thinking, is it some just put the word
Oh,
motion, thinking in
okay.
terms of motion.
Yeah.
So I have mind.
No, no,
So
no, no.
mind
Stop,
can be the
stop,
object
stop,
and
stop,
thinking can
stop,
be
stop, 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 stop. Like this is how you dilute your reasoning. Okay. So
okay,
like,
I'll come back to the track.
yeah. Let's come back to the track. So like there are emotions that we don't observe directly. Also, okay. So you're saying that, oh, it's like you don't see the thinking part. Yes, I don't see the thinking part. That doesn't mean anything, but I can observe the effects of that thing also. How can you understand someone is thinking, someone else is thinking? So you understand it because of yourself. You're doing it, you're thinking, and you know it very closely, okay? But how to understand other people are thinking? You just look at the results. Again, you look at the results and you say that, oh, wait a second. This happens only by thinking, okay? Sometimes we can be even wrong. Sometimes we do things without thinking. So even this is complex topic. But again, like just because you don't observe while it's happening, that doesn't mean again anything. That doesn't mean it's an invisible entity. It's just not, open to your eyes right now. You can't see it with your eyes. You cannot hear it. You cannot smell it. But when you see a result, then you can say, wait a second, that came through thinking. Let's suppose that there is a mathematical problem on the paper.
Okay.
And later on, one day later, you came back and now you see the result. Did you see the brain? Did you see the thoughts? No. In the brain? No, you didn't need to see. But now there is the result. And we don't see any way that result appears there without thinking. That's the only way. Like things don't magically appear like that, right? Especially those mathematical results. The only way that we know is humans solve the problems and they put it there. They don't magically appear. So this is the result. That's how we know that there was thinking there. Again, like let's suppose I didn't see the motion, okay? Someone came to me. So someone is in the room, okay? Did I see that he moved here from point A to my room? No, I didn't see that. I just turned my head and I was like, I seen someone, okay? But I didn't observe the motion. But I know that the person came here through the motion.
Yes.
Okay, so well, we are just describing the results of those processes. And by the way, I always say that this is really bad one to start with because mind, consciousness, these are so hard topics. And still, we are trying to investigate more, understand deeper. We don't have like perfect knowledge about these things. That's why
Yes,
this
we
is
we,
not
we, we,
good
we
way
might
to
not
start.
have,
Um,
but like I just wanted to make this point that we have physical quantities. Like when we want to verify something scientifically, so scientifically means we can verify things which are physical.
we can verify which are physical.
We can only verify things which are physical because science deals with physical quantities. When we are very beginning, we are starting when we start to study science, we are told that these are seven fundamental physical quantities and this and this. So science always deals with quantities which are physical,
I
verifiable by
think
physical means.
I think you're making a mistake here, but because there are a lot of concepts that we created, so the ideas, okay, and and physicality is beyond the ideas, right?
For example,
Like just the opinions you might have. Like those are not countable, right? But can you like claim that they don't exist? It's not only a
opinion.
pure physics or
Yes.
demonstration of the material things, right? Opinions do exist also in the mind, and mind is a hard topic to deal with.
Yes, mind is a hard topic to deal with because we cannot physically verify it. Like there is no machine to check like how much mind you are applying or how much mind one has or even intelligence. We may come up with certain rating or systems, but it's again we are making some things to make us understand those things in a better way. So it's just for our convenience we are making something, but uh, that's how things are. Like we don't understand mind, we don't understand intelligence. I don't understand mind, I don't understand intelligence
And
and
we
stuff.
in the end of the day, okay. Like this topic doesn't lead you anywhere, okay. This topic doesn't prove soul exists. It
it
doesn't
can
prove
it can
anything. No, it
it doesn't
doesn't.
prove right now because see when you say you don't have
Uh,
enough understanding of
uh,
one element, and
it
if it
only means you
leads
don't have
you.
enough understanding, and it
Yes,
doesn't mean it can lead you in any place, in any direction. It
it,
can
it
lead
it
you in
doesn't
many
mean that it
directions.
cannot lead you to any other thing.
Yeah, but like since you don't have that, you don't have to entertain that idea because it can lead you in many different places. Also, since you don't know,
Also,
you don't explain that. It can mean something else also. For example, let me tell you one thing. Maybe we are just transmitters, okay? Like routers, like Wi-Fi routers, okay? Maybe there are other intelligent beings out there, and maybe we are just antennas of those beings. So those information is passing through our brains, okay? We call it mind, consciousness, whatever, okay? but maybe that they're just information passing through our bodies, okay? And we see some effects and we try to describe and we call it consciousness. So maybe like there's such an explanation beyond, or what we learned so far. Can you disprove? No.
No.
That means it is true? No. So
No.
what I'm trying to say, since we don't know how exactly it works, I can generate any kind of claim out of it, but it's useless. It's unnecessary. If I can create like hundreds of you know scenarios, what's the use of it? One of them is soul, okay, but it's just one of them out of thousands. That's why it's not important. Like yes, maybe yes, it's the explanation of the soul, but it's just maybe. And
Yeah, maybe.
I can create even like more, better arguments. Okay, but it will just depend on our ignorance, and as I said, that's a logical mistake. Anyway,
Yes, it,
man.
it can.
Uh,
Yes, logical. It can be a logical mistakes. But but do you think that everything that is in our understanding can be tested on the level of logic? Can you, like, do you think logics have a limitation, or they can, like, everything can be explained via logic, or everything has to be logical? Or I'm not telling that everything has to be logical, but do you think logic is the ultimate way to understand things? Because at the end it boils down to it's not very logical. So
I
do
don't
you
think
think
logic
logic is
is
the ultimate thing?
like logic is just well, we use it for good reasoning, okay? But when it comes to understand things, we seek consistencies in the universe, okay? That's how we have those logical rules. We observe things, they work the way that they are, and we derive those logical, rules from what we observed, okay? And they have never violated so far, and that's why we trust a lot. And logic can't be proven, okay? You can't prove logic with logic. Like to prove things, we use logic also, but to prove logic, we don't have any tool. Logic is something we accept automatically by just observing. Okay, for example, my phone is either phone or not phone. Okay, my phone cannot be phone and Apple at the same time. How can I say those
Yes.
things? Because that's what we observe in the nature, right? We observe, and that's okay. It works like that. My phone is not a cat. Okay.
Yes.
My phone is either phone or not phone. Okay.
Yes.
So that's what we learn from our observation experience, and why we trust it doesn't violate. Oh, look, it won't violate in the future. Well, so far we didn't see it's violating, and there's no good reason to think that it will violate. Maybe it will violate, but if it violates, then we should just analyze what we'll learn new, and then we will just go with it. Okay. But so far, it's working perfectly.
We
And
may think it depends on the knowledge. Say, for example, everyone has like logic. It For example, a person who is in standard 5, or like say fifth standard or fourth standard, he also uses logic and stuff, or his intelligence, according to the knowledge he has. So as our knowledge increases, our ability to reason things and logically understand them also increases, isn't it? So we cannot say that we have a set of rules which would apply throughout all the horizons of the knowledge, or like whatever knowledge we have. So I
I
don't know
think
how
we can
logics
apply.
work.
I think we can apply. Like we apply logic even on the things that we don't know, then we try to understand, like in the frame of logic.
Say, for example, I'll give you, how do I logically understand that how do I logically understand that life began by accumulation of all the elements at certain point of time in certain situations or circumstances? How do I logically understand that? Say, for example, I was born by union of my parents and their parents, their parents, their parents, and that's how life
Hmm.
continues. So, how do I logically understand that there was a time, or there might have been a time, where life originated by
Hmm.
combination of all the matters,
But
and there was how do I
by observing the evidence, man. So that's how we
logically
learn.
so
What
logic
do you mean
goes with
logically?
observation also,
No, I told
isn't it?
you that like logic is not a tool tells you the answers. Logic is a tool that you use to understand the things, okay? But it's not the only tool, okay? To understand things, you use your observation, you use data, right? Or existing data
So
or the one
on this
existed
point
before.
specifically,
So it's just like a tool, okay?
is on this point I'm asking, like, would I be logically wrong if I say that life which we are observing, and in my limited observation, so to say, I've always seen that life originates from life. I've never seen combination of matter coming together and life started.
Okay.
So am I logically wrong in coming to this conclusion, or my observation is limited, or like first logic answer, then part of observation?
Okay, like again, you don't come to conclusion just through logic. We come to conclusion through evidence. Okay, so there's no such a thing. Oh, you know what? I just use
Say,
logic and then reach a conclusion. We
say
don't do that, man.
in the situation where we lack concrete evidence, any concrete
We
evidence.
have concrete evidence that life cannot exist in the early stages of this planet. Okay, the life that we know cannot exist in the early conditions of this planet, and we have data where you can trace back life, and before that time you don't observe life, so that means life started at a point on this planet. We have evidence for that, man.
I look for them.
So if you say that, wait a second, I deny this evidence because what I see is I came from my parents and they come from, so that
Yes.
means it goes like that eternally or till which time. But we learned that we got the answer. It doesn't go like that. Life
Have
stops
you have you
somewhere.
like have you personally gone through the studies which show that? I'm just asking,
You
like,
can
I'm not
easily
attacking,
study.
I'm just just
Just
asking.
like when life started on this planet.
Yes,
Ask this question: when life
life started.
has started on this planet? Let's see the answer.
Ye- Yes, it would be
Life on
fun.
Earth is thought to have begun around 3.7 to 4.28 billion years ago. Okay. What is the age of this planet? Oh, sorry. I should do it again. What is
Yes.
the age of this planet? AI. The Earth is approximately 4.5 billion years old. So, what does it say, man? So, the life didn't exist at the beginning, life came later on. And this is based on
Yes.
evidence. So, that means life
Mhm.
is not going infinitely back. Life comes from life, life comes. It doesn't say that. The data doesn't say that. Life somehow started at a point in the past. And they approximately give the time here, right? It's 3.7, 4.2. That means it
How
stops.
do I ask AI questions? I also I also would like to ask something.
Okay, type and
Huh.
don't enter like like above the chat box. There is this AI button. Okay, just press on it.
Okay. Matter. So I just typed in my question and now I'll press the AI button. Yes, yes, yes. So I just asked, does life comes from matter? So life is believed to have originated from non-living matters through a process aborigines. I've studied that. This process involves spontaneous generation of life from inorganic substances. They also believe. Yes.
And they also believe in that based on what they observe.
True. Wonderful.
Now, we don't observe a substance which doesn't exist in the nature. We don't observe such a substance.
Do you think we can observe everything that's in the nature?
Can we observe everything?
That's in the nature.
Definitely no, right now.
So yes, so we can say like out of the things that
Yeah,
we
we
can observe and
yeah, but man,
we
this is a really, really, really terrible logic. Man, you should change this mindset, okay? It doesn't lead you anywhere good.
it would take time, but
Okay,
I'm
let me
learning.
give you
I'm
one
learning.
example. Okay, so we can't observe everything in the nature. Okay, but and then I came and claimed that you know the Planck time and Planck length. Have you heard?
Pardon?
Like, okay, let me type Planck length. AI.
Planck's length or something.
Just
Okay.
Planck length is a unit of Planck equal to approximately 1.6 multiply. Oh, I can't even read these numbers. But anyway, it's very small.
10,
It's the
10 raised to the
smallest
power
unit.
minus 35. Yes.
Yeah, it's the smallest unit of measurement that has any physical meaning. Okay. Now you know what is it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I say that, oh, since we can't observe everything in the universe, if I say that there must be unicorns at the size of this Planck length. You know what is a unicorn, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
claim that there are unicorns and that they're that much small. And there are just 5 of them.
Yes.
This is my belief. And what is my argument? Oh, can you observe everything in the nature? No. And this is my argument. That was just one example. I can create millions of examples. And again, what you're doing is, well, you didn't create an argument from ignorance, but you just lean towards creating arguments from ignorance. Like, oh, we don't know everything. Okay, we don't know everything, but that doesn't mean one thing is specifically true.
I just verified it.
You just you verify AI with AI. Cool, cool.
Because it I just wanted to have fun for the audience who would watch this video after 5 decades, like how.
Decades anyway.
Yes, yes. So no, it's good. So see, it has never been that we were able to observe. See, we started observing things. We started learning how many small, like what is the smallest measurement we can make. So my point is, I'm not claiming that there has to be an unicorn or something which is smaller than this. I'm telling there was a time when we couldn't measure, like there was no microscope or something, and we couldn't measure anything like 10 raised to the power minus
That
3
doesn't
also.
mean we will measure unicorns that
No,
much
no. So I'm
small.
not. Am I claiming? Am I claiming that?
As I
I'm
said it
simply.
clearly.
I'm simply saying.
I said it clearly. Yeah, you didn't make the argument, but you are
Yes.
at the edge of making an argument. If
No,
I,
no.
but
I would. I
like
would.
if a very slight wind blows, you will just jump from that edge and you will make the argument. Okay, that's your
And then
situation right now.
and I have put a hook somewhere, and I'm
You
sure. Like
should
I
put more
assure you.
hooks.
Yes, yes.
Because,
That hook would work. I'm just telling. I'm not telling that there is a unicorn, so to say. I'm just telling like there had been a time where we could measure like only in meters and kilometers,
so
and
what?
now we can.
But so
So
what? So what?
so
It
so
is.
so so, so
What does
I'm
it
just
mean?
asking.
Tell me. Tell.
Can you
I will tell you. What
yes.
does it mean? It means we can find many different kind of things that we even didn't imagine. Okay. Whatever
Yes.
the topic is, whatever the reasons that you think or assume, that may all be false, but the answer can be something that we could even never imagine. Okay. That's what it means. When we don't
I'm
know
not even
something,
I'm not even on the soul point. I'm just telling like
I
there
know,
can be something beyond what we observe. So
there can
just full
be,
stop.
but
Period.
there can be. But what's that thing?
And we don't know yet. And I'm
Uh,
not claiming
Tiny
anything that
unicorns? No.
maybe tiny pink unicorns.
Oh, yeah.
So,
So that's the thing. So it's like, what we don't know. Yeah, we don't know. That's all.
yes.
And we should stop there.
But then
Assuming,
we have mind and we are curious
yeah,
and we are
me
creative
too.
and so yes so out of curiosity we try to find some answers and do the digging. So there's nothing wrong in that, I
Yeah,
guess.
but if you just go to one location and if you just dig that only location that you wanted, that you're so obsessed with, you will convince yourself, okay, I digged, I found it, that must be the case. So that's what people do. Like when they believe in something, they try to read everything just to confirm their beliefs. Okay, they don't think otherwise. They're
So
so
what
stick to their
would be the
beliefs.
consequence? What would be the consequence? At most they would be wrong.
Yeah, yeah, and you're okay to be wrong. Okay, if you don't care about the
So
truth, sure, I'm okay with
I'm
that.
okay. I'm okay to be wrong. Then the personal level, on my personal level, I'm okay to be wrong. Then being in ignorance that okay, there might be something, but I don't care. There are so many things I'm ignorant about, and I wish to stay ignorant. But when something comes to myself, my personal understanding of some things, so I'm free to you know dig deeper. See, if I want water, if I'm looking for water, I would probably dig at a place where I feel that probability of getting water is most. So
That's what I
why
meant.
shouldn't I?
Why you should like again, it's relative. If you care about the truth, you shouldn't do that. But if you say I don't care about the truth, but what's the harm if I believe in something? Well, then it's okay, man. It's your
So,
choice.
no, it's like, see, I'm telling that if I need water, I need truth. I need to do the digging or not. You're telling me don't dig because if you want to get water, don't dig. No,
Oh, okay.
let
Well,
me try.
what I'm telling you that okay. Well, water analogy is not a good analogy. Okay,
Just made it
because
just now.
no, but we need water. We can't survive without water. So sure, you should definitely dig for the water if you don't have the water. That's not the same case. You don't need the soul. That's why you don't need to dig for the soul. Or I don't need the fucking tiny unicorns. I don't need to dig for them.
I don't need to dig for the crude oil, but if I get
What?
it, it will make me rich.
What?
Petroleum. I don't need to dig for petroleum. With water, I can survive. But if I dig petroleum, it would make my life easier. So if I'm doing that, what's the harm?
Again, like those things exist, and that there's a chance that you find them, and
People
if you,
find petroleum.
yeah, people found, and we know that it's
Yes.
useful and it makes money, and it's valuable, but it's not the same thing again. Not good analogies. But
Okay,
again,
I'll tell you.
here's the problem. Here's the problem. That there is no harm. You can entertain any kind of belief. You can believe in anything, or you can search deeply about one specific thing as if you think it's true. Because it's not like that. Hey, wait a second. There's this topic. I should dig it. You're not doing that. You start believing that there's this thing, and then you do the digging. I don't understand why even. But
So
you
in
start with the beliefs.
mathematics, when we study, we have certain set of axioms. Like some things, like we begin with something, and when we are solving mathematics also, so we first, like in some kind of solutions, we assume this to be this, and then when it matches, so like our assumption was true. So this is also a method. It's not something which
I
is
don't
very
think
obsolete.
you do it in the same way. But anyway,
Then I do understand you, but like we have to talk.
yeah.
Yes, sir. So then that's one thing. I'm not stuck on at a point or anything. I just want you to know like how I think. I know I might be wrong or I am wrong, but like this is how I'm growing old day by day. So actually, we are, like I find these things very interesting. Everyone does. So it's not that I'm putting all my faith into some. See, I have prior knowledge about some things. It may be due to my upbringing, my surroundings, my environment. You in the beginning you told like Apple example now. So we cannot ask someone to think or act in a certain way, or we come from different backgrounds and different environments. So that's how it works, I think. We can always change though.
Why not? Okay, wait. I'm gonna leave today. I should leave earlier.
Okay, no worries. I'll find you some other
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Thank you
Why
so
not?
much. And
Thanks for
you
joining
you
me.
shared
Yeah.
very very nice points. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks for participating. And see you next
Thank
time.
you. Thank you so much. Sure.